So I'm out here on my 2019 Beta 125 RRS. I have the 13-tooth front sprocket, the 65 rear. I had already done a whole video, but I'm going to have to go redo stuff because, well, you didn't get to see it in action, and it's running great. I love it, but at the end of the day, does it still do steep hill climbs? A little bit better, but it's still a 125. Maybe doing the Yamaha 150cc big bore kit that I bought will help it a little bit also. Maybe with all that combination, it would make it a single track bike. I'm still hoping for the best. Maybe the 182 Athena kit would actually be the way to go, but that's like $700 from Beta, although I can get a generic one from overseas, from Indonesia, and it would probably work also. Maybe, I guess it's hit and miss on the water, if they're the water jacket area, if it has enough sealing area. But I mean, if Athena has one that works, I would think. I don't know. I haven't reached out to Beta about that, see if any deals, but because this is a penny pincher type bike, I don't see A, many people buying that kit. B, I don't see that Beta will care that I have that information out there. Maybe they will. So I will see if there's any way I can get one to test. That would be awesome, to test the 150 I bought, and then a 182, I believe, is the Athena one. So we will see. We will see. I have the highway dirt bikes guards on with the BRP top mount here to the Chinese bottom mount here. I have, these are the Tusk Chub bars, and they are the YZ bend. I think I might rotate them back a little bit. Although I like it like that, but I think with the guards, it's kind of might not be working. I'll first see if I can bend these down. If not, I'll play with the bars and then down, and that will pull this back and that make that go. It will all line up differently to the mounts. That's what I'm getting at. So there's a few things I can try. It seems like the bars mounted this way is working out just fine. I think they're pretty rigid. They're not going to break. And with the highway dirt bike bars, you tap it out to one huge Allen nowadays. You used to put in the insert and put in the screws, but this is just like a big, thick Allen. So instead of like the insert, it's that wide of an Allen. It's cool. It's the way to go. Not going to break. The mirror, I think works, doesn't work. I think that will work better if these are down slightly. So if I play with the angle, that probably will work. I still have to get a banjo for here for the rear brake, so it will come on when you use the front brake. Right now it's just the rear, which I use them in combination so for me, if I was keeping this bike, it wouldn't matter. Can't do anything here. Can't do anything here with the gas tank. I wish they would just totally change this system. You can see, I mean, it's not even that hot. It will literally make noises and temperature change just in my garage, and my garage doesn't get that warm. It will gurgle and stuff. It's ridiculous. Just Beta, put on a normal gas cap, and all this wasted space that goes down to the back of the bike would be fuel. And on a little bike like this, that much more fuel is another 30 miles probably. And if you put on a normal cap, and if it's a European thing that it has to be somewhat locking, just put on a locking normal cap. And there you go. You satisfy their requirements, and it's all good to go. And being a wider cap, you'd have that much more area for fuel. So you definitely would probably get 30, 40 more miles out of a little bit of tank here, you know. So Beta could work on that. Don't need the seat lock. That's ridiculous. And anyways, I'm enjoying the 65-tooth rear. It still doesn't do hill climbs, like I said, that great, but I'll show you that in a little bit. Let's go ahead and run this trail. It's empty. I just came to the end. I just turned around and just noticed the GoPro wasn't recording, and I don't know how much it recorded before, so seeing as it's had issues all morning, I just reformat, and we're starting scratch. Hate GoPro. Different camera next time. Or I'll just use my Hero 5 Black. I never have issues with that. And you start to go, the magnet wakes up the computer. It's a fun little trail. And the suspension works good for, so you fall out of the rough range. Even with the bigger rear 2 sprocket, it doesn't like you. Oh, I sure went over the law. I didn't. Thought the trail went this way, but nope. Yep, made it over. That's probably the maximum size log you're going to get this bike over easily, because there's no lofting the front end. So not going to be doing advanced techniques to get over logs, you know, or you give your bike gas and you pick up the front a little, hit it midway up, and boom, you go over. It's awesome. This bike is pretty much you're rolling over stuff. Unless you can hit a little one and get enough preload to kind of bounce you over the next. So, for example, here's a log. So, trust me. I'm surprised somebody's back here. Yeah. So this motorcycle does great on this flowy stuff. It does fine. So if this is going to be your type of riding, you're not really a single track person, you're just kind of an explorer, then this bike will do it. See, I went over those logs just fine. But if your trail has any real steep hills for prolonged period, this bike, even the bigger 65 rear and the 13 front, it just doesn't like it. It runs out of power. I mean, yeah, you can always slip the clutch and possibly burn it out. But I don't know why you would want to abuse your bike like that. If you're doing a lot of steep hills, you're going to want something bigger. But for most people that are buying this bike, this is probably more than they do already. So, you know, I'm already taking it past what the design limits of this bike are, and it's not single track. Now, maybe if you do the Athena 182 kit, that might possibly wake it up enough that it could be a good single track bike. I just don't know if it would be worth it. I don't think the $700 would be worth it, honestly. I think you would just buy a bike that is meant for these type of trails. unless because of insurance and registration costs in your state, then yeah, maybe this is still the bike for you, and maybe you would go ahead and spend that money, and no one would know it's a 182, you know, they'd think it's a 125. But you can always also get a big bore kit from Indonesia and see if it works. They go up to 200cc. I've heard it's really hit and miss if you go too high, if they'll work or not. I would believe if you stuck around that 182, because Athena has that kit, unless their cylinder head is, you know, drastically different to make it work, then I mean, a generic one should in theory work. But that rear sprocket at 125cc and the 13 tooth front, so it does these little hills a lot better. So it does do this mile stuff a heck of a lot better. I just don't think you'd want it all the time if you're riding road. I think your best bet is the happy middle of the 13 front and 63 rear, or do the math and figure out which combination, like the 65 14 tooth front might be also the same as the 1365 and not put as much stress on the chain. I think if Beta actually made a happy medium bike, like for a US market, get rid of the 125 and bring a 200 or a 225. That would probably be a very nice commuter bike that would let you be able to do the road a lot better, because American traffic is quicker. We're not in cities poking around. And yeah, okay, maybe the cost is $6,000, or make it a 250 for $6,000. I think that would be a better purchase. Or keep this bike too. I mean, they like to have bike options. There's probably like one of the only companies that have so many silly engine options with very little in between price, so it becomes, well, what do you want? You want a 390? You want a 430? You want a 500? They're basically all the same price. All very little price difference in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, first gear with this the bigger rear sprocket and the smaller front. Like, I can kind of putt. Let's see this hill. Yeah, like that hill's not a problem. If it continued and continued, it might be an issue. So hopefully these videos kind of give you an idea, you know, what you're going to expect out of one of these, or if you're buying it for the wife or kid, how much they'll grow for what maybe you guys want to do. And by kid, I mean obviously somebody old enough, like 16 years old or whatever the driving age is. I think it's still 16, is it? I don't know. And if you do live in an area with a lot of slower roads, a lot of subdivisions and what have you, and your kid can get to school or whatever, or just you're a cool parent and you buy them, you want to buy them a motorcycle, yeah, this is a good way to start. It's going to give them certain skills, and when they get that bigger bike, they'll be very appreciative to be able to roll on that power you're definitely not going to have an oops. Like if I had to stop here and I accidentally whiskey throttled, whoa, like that's, you know, let's rev up. But, I mean, it's just not going to get away from you. You let go and it's going to slow down. You know, it's a lot harder to get away from you. I mean, there's always somebody that can loop any type of bike, but not saying it can't. You can whiskey throttle and still end up in a tree or what have you, but the likelihood is a lot less.